cannot be made well. We have submitted the turn templates, and I believe that they're under review right now by the traffic consultant.
I've seen them.
Okay.
Anybody else?
It shows that they are feasible. Return units can be made.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. Number one, what is your intent with the gas well we're drawing out farm right now?
We are working with the person, the leaseholder at this time, and if we can work through the agreement, we are going to abandon those wells.
You'll cap them off and seal them?
Correct.
Number two, you said about the cul-de-sac economy and public works. Being a prior worker here, your intent for your postal delivery, are you going to have centralized? I don't know whether you know this yet or not.
We're required to have the cluster box units. So we're not.
You go to the one area. That's where I live right now. That's the way it is. It's a little bit out of the way for me, but it's sure better than knocking the mailboxes down in the wind. Okay. We got a couple of places here that are really, really bad.
We know that every municipality now is requiring postal services actually required. So there will be cluster box units. We just have to determine where this is.
Okay, how about runoff? What your retention ponds do you?
There's going to be 5 stormwater facilities that will manage the runoff to the site that's generated, so that it's less than what was coming off of the site before, and that's per requirements of the township as well as the county and the
Thank you.
Just one more note on the cul-de-sacs too. The Planning Commission had stated that they potentially wanted easements at the end of the cul-de-sacs for disposal of snow, some places store snow. So we're keeping that in mind as well, where we can provide those easements and adjust lots if necessary to create them.
Okay, anybody else that saw it? Ed?
Yeah, sir, correct me if I'm wrong. You said that you're going to have a bridge come over the trail, is that correct?
Correct.
What type of a facility is that going to be?
We're still investigating price, potentially box culvert, some type of system. We're pricing out different ones, so specifically what's going to go in, I can't speak to. We're looking at multiple options.
Okay, and you're going to have this to be sufficient to put a 80,000 pound GVW fire truck over that.
Correct.
And your cul-de-sacs and all that are going to have to be able to accommodate aerial ladder truck and other fire apparatus, waste management vehicles, school buses.
Understood.
And,
items that will be taken into consideration.
And I'll echo what Mrs. Cobb said about the Burnside Road intersection. When the Muse Fire Department is responding to that direction, they can't make that turn now. They have to make a little bit of a U-turn and a more circuitous route to get there. But with the lightweight construction of these new residences, every second counts, and you're going to have much more damage in those couple minutes that they're not going to be able to get there, that they're going to have to take that little bit of a detour. And that is a concern, I'm sure, to the other 2 fire departments as well.
Noted.
So another hand over here, so. Go ahead.
Can you go back to your satellite view?
Yes.
Can you state your name, please?
Doug Warzinski, 111 Ashland Court.
I think you ran out of batteries in this too. Yeah, it's not, it won't let me click on it. Use the mouse. Try to turn it on now. Quick blinks and it doesn't go.
Good job, Bruce. Thank you.
Is this one good?
Yeah, so the property never actually touches Muse Bishop, is that correct?
Correct. It's on Burnside Road where the access is. Where the front
But
is.
have you pursued any of those property owners or any property between Muse Bishop and site number 2 as you have it labeled?
No, we have not.
Do you show Klinger Road's connection to McConnell on this map? or do you show Burnside and how close it is to the Path Road connection?
No, it's too far out to see. So this is Burnside here. Burnside curves back down to the south, correct, and then Path Road. That distance, and there's no connection for us to Path Road. We only have the frontage on Burnside.
What is that little crazy spur at the bottom? Is that actually your property, or is that just?
It's a portion, it's about 25-foot wide portion of that property, yes. I don't know if that was an old easement or right of way. But it's only 25 feet wide, so.
And so, in the entrance to the plant off of McConnell is in the top right,
Correct.
and then you can't see where Klinger connects in then? It's that much farther up the hill?
Correct. Actually, you might be able to see it right here on the corner.
That's in the third one.
Then it's further up, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Comments or questions? Again, this is a tentative PRD. I think the board's going to go over items on here with our professional staff, and then we do have to have another meeting with the applicants for the final PRD that they'll be requesting. So that's the next step in the process, and I think we have versus the 45 days from the tentative to the final. I know it's 45 days after the final hearing. I can't remember on for the tentative.
It is 45.
For both? But I'd like to at least get scheduled again for the board to pick a date for us to meet with the applicant again to continue this so they can move on to their final.
So is it 45 plus 45?
You might know that better than we do.
I'll let him say. I believe it's 45 from tentative.
And it's our
Once we
goal.
go to final hearing, then we'll have 45 to make the decision.
So can I get some tentative dates to set another continued process? I'm afraid to try to schedule it before one of our regular business meetings because you just never know how long it's going to take.
At that point in time, will you have had time to go over the traffic study and we'll have more definitive answer on what exact improvements will be made to those roads?
I believe so.
And I think what would help, going along with what Elizabeth had said, about she doesn't think signs are going to be enough of a proposal. Obviously, we've seen some places where they make intersections that curbing restricts the turn to a certain direction. And I'm sure you know about those kind of intersections where you physically can't turn your car. I think our point is with signs, a lot of people just choose to ignore it. I mean, we can't have police sitting there, and it doesn't necessarily stop people from making a turn against the sign, where if it's actually configuration of your construction and the paving, sometimes that's more definitive. So again, that's just something to look at. But I think the more the things that you can address early on, the sooner we can get through the next couple steps. But I think we need to schedule another one before our next meeting, if we can, or sometime in March, I mean, so that we can go over this. I'm sure some other things are going to come up. We could combine it so that we're not dragging you out here just for.
So we're scheduling this prior to our next one?
No.
So what about Monday, March 14th?
I like this. The second Monday works for me after our first regularly scheduled monthly meeting.
Elizabeth Frank?
Seems like Mondays have been good for us. The third Monday is occupied with our zoning board.
Okay, so tentatively, or not tentatively, scheduled Monday. Is that okay for you guys? Okay. Monday, March 14th, 7 p.m.
What did you think?
Yes, okay.
All right. Well, then, at this point, we're going to continue our hearing Monday, March 14th at 7 o'clock. All right, 7 o'clock. There being no further testimony, this hearing will be declared closed. I'm sorry, we'll continue. Thank you very much. In a few minutes, we're going to go right on to our next item on our agenda, which is, no, we have to